Hi everyone. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Belinda Believes was here earlier. I don't know if you're still here, but hi if you're here. Ginger, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, and I've been thinking about you actually the last couple of days, hoping you're doing well. Uh, yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Hi, Nancy Dar. Good afternoon. It is afternoon here too. Carolyn, hi. And Mark, hi. Well, thank you to the three mods for being here. You guys are awesome. You're great. I see Mark has a new shark. Mark the shark. Watch out for him, folks. He's a shark. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Finally, we're receiving some rain, much needed rain. Oh, Kimmer, hi. Kimmer's here too. I haven't seen you in a while either. All four mods, or three. Three? Ginger, Carolyn, Mark, and Kimmer. Yeah, all four. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you to the mods of this channel. They're fantastic. I carefully pick them. No, I'm joking. Well, I wouldn't just pick anybody. Um, So, yeah. So yesterday we started into the documents regarding the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, who went missing on May 2nd of this year, last seen on May 1st, via RCMP, as per the RCMP. They went missing from Garlock Road, Garlock, however you want to pronounce it. Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, here in Nova Scotia, which is the area that I'm from, if you guys do not know that yet. And hi, Wanod, also from Nova Scotia. Thanks for being here. So yeah, so we started into those documents yesterday. And so we're going to complete them today. but we're also going to discuss a video that I had watched last night. It's not a channel that I watch much. I think I've watched a couple videos earlier when she had touched on Lily and Jack, when she first touched on Lily and Jack. And um, the channel is called Hidden in the Fog. Her name is Susan, and she has Twitter as well. And she was the first one who spoke to a friend and a relative of the mother of the missing children, Malehya Brooks Murray. So that kind of caught everyone's attention. So I haven't really watched any of her videos since then. However, no, I think I watched one more that Sunny had shared with me. Yes. And then her title on her video caught my attention last night, of course, because it's talking about a woman who's saying she truly, truly believes she saw Lily in Saskatchewan. Um, so you watched it too, Ginger? Yeah. Did everybody here watch it? Because I didn't really want to play it, but just kind of give a summary of what was stated. And if you guys want to watch it, you can head over to her channel and watch it, Hidden in the Fog. Um, or if you watch her on Twitter or whatever. I don't know if she had it on Twitter. Kimmer, you watched it too? Uh, yeah. Yeah, I think probably everybody did because it obviously is gonna grab your attention, right? Um, yeah, 5 minutes of fame. I do you know, I didn't comment because I was like, 5 minutes of game, and I didn't clue in that you were saying fame. And I know Belinda's aware of it because I sent it to her. Whether she believes that to be true or not, she has the right to know of what's being said and what's being reported to RCMP. So, but she told me she had already seen it. Belinda's the grandmother, paternal grandmother of Jack and Lily, and a huge, huge voice for Jack and Lily as far as family concerned. You didn't see it, Mark? Um, I don't believe a word that one said. So, Lori, you watched it too. Hi, Lori. Thanks for being here. Ariel. Hi, Ariel. Thanks for being here. Um, oh, yes, I watched most of it, and I think it's a prank or someone that's not well. Yeah, I kind of got the impression of maybe somebody that's not well. Yeah. So, just to summarize for those that didn't see it. Carla, hi. Thanks for being here. The title should have included the word possible. Yes, I agree. I agree. That's why I put possible in mine, right? Because you have to be careful with what you're saying. But nonetheless, I mean, these things keep the talk going, the chatter for Lily and Jack. So wonderful. So be it. Um, so just to sum it up, she had stated that she was at a park with her children in Regina, Saskatchewan, and there was a little girl there, caught her attention. She was alone playing on a swing, and there was a guy there as well, a big burly man with who she states as oh, what do you call that? Redhead, ginger, and that he was kind of creepy looking. This is what she stated, and that the little girl had slush pants on, a t-shirt with a hat on it, hair cut short. She believes it was Lily, with her hair cropped off, kind of messy looking, unkept looking, and so she talked to her for a bit, "Where are you from? Where do you live?" And the little girl stated she lives in a car with her mother, and but that her mother's not with her, that she's with her uncle, and her mother told her she'd come back to get her, but that she slept and her mother hasn't come back to get her yet. Which I could picture a child describing time in that way because they can't really say, you know, it's been 5 days now or it's been over 24 hours. They would kind of describe time as in sleep, right? Like, I've slept and overnight, and I haven't seen my mom yet. But anyways, the whole thing made her feel suspicious, and she kept thinking that the little girl looked familiar. So when she went home, she thought about it more and then thought, geez, I think that might be that little girl that's missing. Look it up. And uh, to refresh her memory of what Lily looked like, I guess, because once she started thinking about it, she said the eyes kind of stood out. Excuse me, folks. And but she said she had been following the case carefully, which, like, there's some stuff that she says that you're kind of like, well, it just kind of makes you think, like, well, how come? Like, I mean, Lily is very distinctive looking, and I always said right from the get go, once you look at Lily, you should be able to pick her out again because her eyes are so distinctive. I mean, look at her right there. She's got a very distinctive smile, face, eyes. It's not something that you kind of forget, I mean, but maybe it's because I look at her every day in many different photos. But anyway, so long story short, whether you believe it or not, um, it's good to know these things for one, and for Belinda to know these things, and to keep the talk going, whether it be true or not. But the one thing I will point out, and it's the same as the other tip that was given by the individual out that said she's seen the two kids getting in the car, which we're going to go over in these documents, and that she thought that could be Jack and Lily, and she had put that tip in. Well, RCMP has always stated, and that's what I want to remind people of, that if they felt there was any type of abduction, there would then be put an Amber Alert out with the description of, the individual, the vehicle, whatever information was passed on. And that has never been done. Um, and uh, when you listen to this individual, um, uh, uh, she says it took them a couple of days to get back to her, that she doesn't feel like, that they're taking her very serious, and there might be reasons for that. Um, I guess the big thing is RCMP following up on this stuff? I don't know how much Susan vetted this individual, but to me, it's more important that RCMP vet these tips and look into them and make a decision whether they're credible or not. And it seems to me that they don't feel they are because there's been no Amber Alert put out. And they've made it very clear that they would put an Amber Alert out if that became a possibility, that there was a credible tip of these children possibly being abducted. And on August 22nd, they continue to say there is no signs, there is no evidence of abduction. So we have to remember that. Now, I don't think that they would willy nilly say that. If they truly thought that somebody abducted these children and there's some type of witness to a vehicle, an individual, and these children, that they're just gonna, toss that aside and not follow through on what the law states they should do in putting out an Amber Alert, and so on. Hi, Norbeaster. Thanks for being here. Finally, my sound wasn't working. Oh, I don't know why I thought it was the live. Just Tech Life messing with you. Yeah, likes to do that. I always do a test before I come on and play the song, and I've learned to do that because because when you first start doing this, you mess things up in the beginning, and then you soon learn, okay, I have to do this and I have to do that. I've As I learned, I was writing a list down, so now I follow my list. And without that list, I would never remember what to do, but it helps me. Yeah. Um, Hi, Donna. Stacy, hi. Didn't she say she was dressed like a boy? Yeah, to her, she was dressed like a boy. Yeah, because she felt like the shirt she had on had I think she said a ball cap on it, and she had splash pants on and dinosaur sneakers that lit up, and that her hair was cropped. Um, yeah. How come the woman didn't know any cops' names? Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. There's so many questions, when you listen to it, and I'd rather you guys go to the channel yourself and listen to it. I just feel it's important to talk about it because it has to do with this, and somebody's saying it, whether it's true or not. It's the same as Darwood saying the stuff that he said, and it was discussed on Sunny's channel. Um, it keeps the chatter going. But to me, it's important to remind people that on the end of it, that the RCMP would have put out the Amber Alert. And it's important to me that Belinda knows that these things are being stated, whether they're true or not, for whatever reason. If they're not true, whatever, right? If it's due to somebody's mental health, or she truly believes that that little girl looked like Lily, or whatever the case may be. Um, or that Belinda just, needs to know that these tips are being put in, and what's being stated and whatnot. Yeah, so how come she didn't know the cops' names, not the Regina police, not the RCMP, not the Halifax, yeah, I know, police. She didn't get one cop's name, not even the cop's name that showed up at her door. Well, yeah, well, apparently she knew him because he's a friend of her husband's, but, um, well, not only that, but she didn't get the little girl's name. Now, it's things like that that kind of stick out to you, right? Because I'm thinking, well, if you're interacting with a child like that at a park and asking all those personal questions, where are you from? Where do you live? Where's your mother? And you didn't ask her name, like, I've had two little boys. I've been at the park with them pretty much every day when they were little, and they've played with other kids there, and you interact with the other kids as a parent because your kids are interacting with them. And the first thing you usually do is say, "Hi, what's your name?" That's pretty much the very first thing that you do. Um, yeah, and even her child would you would think the child would know, because when kids are playing together as well, that's what they do. My name is so and so, my name's so and so. But yeah, she didn't even get a name from the child. Yeah, so just things like that, you kinda makes you go, "Hmm." Definitely. But I never wanna discourage, ever. I would never, ever discourage anyone from putting a tip in, right? No matter what the reason. It's up to the RCMP to figure out whether it's credible or not, and then take the next step whether it's credible, which would have been putting an Amber Alert out, which they didn't do, and they reiterated on August 22nd that no evidence of an abduction. Um, so, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, sorry, but just important to remember that. Oh my god, I apologize, Nova, off topic, I know, but if you haven't watched Unknown Number, High School Catfish, it's worth a watch. Okay, I actually think I seen that when I was going through. Yeah, I did see that, and I didn't click on it because as soon as it says high school, I just think, "Oh, that's for kids," or, like, youth, teenager, whatever, but I'll check it out. It's on Netflix, yeah. Okay, thanks. Nova, I personally don't agree with you about keeping the kids' names out there with a woman that distracts the whole case and the public. Yeah, well, that we all have our own, opinions, and I'm okay with that. And I get what you're saying. If she did it intentionally, no, I don't agree with that. Like, that's why I was kinda, your thoughts exactly, I was with Darewood, because to me, I felt a lot of that was intentional, in my opinion, um, and to distract. I don't get the feeling from this woman that she's doing it intentionally to distract. I think she actually might really believes that that was Lily or has convinced herself for whatever reason, whether it's, she talked about her own brother being abducted when they were in elementary, quite young. So whether, that has a permanent trauma effect and um or that there might be some other mental issues going on. She even said the officer that came to the door, who she knows because he's friends with her ex, said, "Are you drinking or on drugs or rugs?" um, so is it something like that you know, I don't know, or mental health. Like I don't think it's intentional. But I also don't think that it's legit or the RCMP would have put out that information. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I agree. Like if somebody's doing stuff like that intentional, absolutely not. I don't agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Prepare to be mad. Well, now I'm gonna have to watch it. Jumpez, hi. Thanks for being here. Interesting. Eyes don't lie versus the heart don't lie. Well, I think she said both. I think she said both. Hello to all. Hi, Belinda. And thanks for being here. She said the responding officer went to school with her husband. Yes, or ex. So yeah, and there was like some domestic stuff going on there, and they had dealt with some domestic calls. So he should have known. She should have known. Yeah, exactly. His name or been able to obtain it when asked later. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh, Kent, hi. Hello. So, what do you think of this lady? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Or what do you think of Hidden in the Fog? It would have been easy to confirm her stories before putting a post like this out there. Yeah, I don't know if she did, I don't know what she does to vet her people. But, Kent, do you wanna come on? I'll put the link in if you wanna come on. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's more important to me about the RCMP, right? How they vet it and check it out, that they're on top of that stuff. And, I mean, they haven't put out an Amber Alert. And you remember they said if anything changed and it was a deemed to be a possible abduction, that they would put an Amber Alert out. She didn't come to interview with receipts. Yeah, she said she would take screenshots and email them to the host afterwards. Yeah, I mean that should all be collected beforehand. I agree. I agree. I would have had those all collected beforehand for sure. Um, yeah. Norbeaster. JDR, hi. If I missed anybody, sorry. No, she was not seen. They are, yeah. They are in a body of water, in my opinion. Yeah. Daphne, hi, Daphne. Welcome back. Here. Just making. Hi, Chelsea. Thanks for being here, Chelsea. Everyone. Chelsea Gray is Lily and Jack Sullivan's paternal aunt. Yeah. Welcome to the chat, Chelsea. Uh, Kimberly, hi. Thanks for being here. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I honestly think if anyone has real info, they should report it, not worry about talking on YouTube. Exactly, Chelsea, 100%. And she said she did report it, like when she saw it. She didn't wait until she did. The other one waited till May 31st when she said she's seen that on May 2nd. Uh, Out on actual Garlock Road, and then waited till the end of the month to report it. But I agree with you 100%. I've seen this before. Someone was intentionally incited to say the exact same thing. The police came and no record of it. Feels like an orchestrated psyop. That's the other thing is, yeah, that when she said when she talked to the she said the head of the RCMP here in Nova Scotia, that it it was they couldn't even find a record of it or anything. So that's kind of weird too. Like yeah, the whole thing is there's definitely red flags in there for sure, and that's why I don't want to go too deep into it and pick it all apart and discourage anyone from calling a tip into our CMP if they ever feel, that they see the kids or whatever the case may be. But just listen to it yourself and make it an informed, intelligent decision. Yeah, a summary is more than enough. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. I think. Hi, Drippy. Thanks for being here and thanks for coming back. Haven't seen you in a while either. Almost forgot this was on. Yeah. Who do we know uses social media to flip the narrative? Yes, true, 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 100%. Um, yeah, yeah, and she was saying that 1,000% it was her, and I was thinking, oh my god, that sounds like Deerwood. And I won't watch the video as I won't give it a view. Well, good for you. Good for you. I just think it's important that you and your mom know about it. Um, you know, what's being said out there. And, um, and it's certainly up to you guys yourselves to decide if you want to watch it or not. But I would think, you know, that if anything was of importance, that the RCMP would have put the Amber Alert out. Yeah, yeah, and not putting any creator down, but that's like I'm not really into her channel anyways, but of course that heading's gonna grab your attention, right? Um, yeah, Chelsea. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here. Randy, hi. Mary, Randy Mary. My opinion, her voice sounds like Cheryl Malehya, friend to me. Oh, really? I didn't get that. I didn't get that. And I'm not gonna listen to it again, so besides, I think the kids are gone. There is only one recent pic and not straight on of Lily. I don't think that is enough for anyone to say they saw her for certain anywhere. Well, true. True. Yeah. Okay. Just give me a second. I gotta figure out how to do this again. Copy. There you go. I just put it in the chat. Wow, you guys are really chatting. I'm gonna be way behind. Seawood, hi, thanks for being here. Haven't seen you in a while either. Um, just wanted to come in and say hello, says Chelsea. Well, thanks for coming in and saying hello. And yeah, I like to try to do my best to keep things on the straight and narrow. And so for me, it's important to just, when I see things like this, just to point out, Chelsea, that how did our CMP react to it? Did they put out did they put out an Amber Alert? They didn't. So chances are, well, not chances are, I'll say that it's probably not a credible tip, right? Or they would have put out the Amber Alert as they stated they would do. So that's my only reason for covering it. And usually, if I think it's a little bit of bull caca, I won't play the video. and that's why I said I'm not playing it, just a summary. People can go watch that themselves if they want to, so I can't.
Hi, Novah.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Yeah, car show went good.
The exhibition, yep.
Yeah, the exhibition, right. I forget it's called that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, that's good. Pictou's fun, in the summer, right? Pictou and Westville are the 2 towns.
Well, it's like I said before, if you're wanting to come to Nova Scotia in the summer to Pictou County, come between July 1st and the second weekend in September, because there's a different festival in a different town every weekend.
Yeah, yeah, there
So
sure is. And then they end it with what do they call that? Well, I guess the exhibition is pretty much the end of
is the
it, but
big one. You get a little bit from the Hector Festival in the middle of September, around the 15th, for the ship Hector, but I don't know where they did the relaunch, if they're doing anything else
yeah, yeah.
as
Um,
far as the reenactment goes or not.
the thing that they have in Glasgow, I never go to it. The Jubilee, they have that too at the end of
Yeah,
at the end of August, and that's like a big thing. People from all over Canada come to that.
yeah,
Lori
it's the
Green,
long weekend in August now.
yes, yeah.
At the 1st of August, yeah.
Lori Green, Nova, if this woman pushed Lily on the swing, right? Now, if someone had hiding her or kidnapped her, do you think they wouldn't let her, right, exactly, out of their sight and let someone push them on a swing? Oh, I know. There's so many things that are very questionable about it, and I don't wanna go too far in well, we'll let Kent say I want Kent to be able to say what he thinks of it because, he's very critical thinking, and it's nice to have another voice on here too. Uh, Kent, you have really good thoughts, and it's hard to express them sometimes in a chat. So what are your thoughts on this? I know
Well,
I sent you I don't know if you've seen it before. I sent you a message, and I didn't get to look at your message because I was getting stuff done here in the house before I come on.
the big no, I haven't looked at any messages yet. My phone is just
Just opinion, is it?
wore out from the weekend.
Yeah.
Um, but just in a case like this, I would hope, as we all are, and praying that it could be true. I know it made the rounds last night. Oh well, if this was Lily, where's Jack? Um, I always thought that if there's anywheres, that they probably wouldn't be still necessarily be together,
Mm.
because it would be easier to hide um, one child than it would be two. Um, I don't. I just wish Susan, as she calls herself, that's her real name, I think. I
Yeah.
just wish, if she was going to be making a post of a video like this, um, before she did it, that she would have took the steps to verify the story. Like, there's two or three things there that could be very easily verified, I would think. And I know if you call the RCMP and said, listen, like, they're not going to tell you information about the investigation, but if you were calling and saying, hey, I got a person named so and so, she's looking to come on my YouTube channel, she's making this claim, she said that she made this tip, right? Because I think they would say whether or not they received that tip. Because if you go back to the reporter for the Globe and Mail, with the tip about the car through the night and whatnot, the RCMP wouldn't tell her who made the tip
Yeah.
and what and whether the tip was useful or viable to the investigation. But they did tell her, yes, we did receive that tip. So I think with Susan, who states, because earlier through the disappearance of the kids and whatnot, and her talking to Sonny and us on her channel,
Mhm.
she had made the claims that she has a journalistic background and whatnot. So if you're going to put something out like this that was actually critical to the investigation and where we're at, then I think a 5 or 10 minute phone call to say, listen, did you receive this tip? And if they say, oh no, we never heard it from anybody from Saskatchewan, then very quickly you can assume that there's nefarious or distraction or attention seeking
Mhm.
reasons around pushing out the tip.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully nobody's doing that nefariously, but I know that happens. It's happened in other cases, you know.
Definitely, like there's people that um and like I wouldn't even say for like I can't say for 100% sure that in her heart that she believes it was Lily,
Yeah,
but that still doesn't make it Lily.
exactly.
Um,
That's right.
it might be somebody that is in a troubling situation, and with her having previous dealt with the situation of her brother,
Right.
how does that play into the psychology of it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, we all have cell phones, or most of us. And if she really, whether she felt or knew that kid was Lily or not, she obviously felt that that kid was in a troubling, because you don't know what was going on, but a troubling situation and circumstances.
Mhm.
So if you were doing that, um, wouldn't you pick up your cell phone and do that like right away? And then when you got home and you got looking through her computer or online or whatever, um, then you could call back and say, "Oh my God, I think that was the kids from Nova Scotia."
Mhm.
But at least initially, with the kid being in a possible harm situation, wouldn't you do that right away?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And she said that after her calling into Regina Police and the RCMP, that she stated that she was on Facebook and Facebook chats, and left comments. Well, like I say, I know I don't read every comment, but I think if there would have been a comment with a statement around something like this situation at the time when it was happening towards May or June, it was try to, because she said it was a couple weeks after they went missing, but then it was June, and so it was just right. Like,
Picked up on that
well, that
too.
puts you in towards the end of May to early June. Okay, I'll give her that when you're talking about a situation like this, but I think if there would have been comments um, like this in those groups back at that time, then there would have been enough controversy in the groups from some people saying, "Frig off, lady, you're crazy," to what do you mean? Like, I think there would have been enough reaction from within the Facebook groups that we wouldn't have been hearing about this the first week of September.
Yep.
And the reason why I point that out is look at the New York comment. Okay, I don't think anybody believes it, but it was the next day after it was out there that everybody was on one side or the other of it talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And um like she what was I going to say? Oh, I don't know if you hit on it's already commented on this, but just like the other report of the goldish colored car on Garlock Road on the 2nd, and there was no Amber Alert put out on that as well. I mean, RCMP would follow up. They stated if there was any evidence of an abduction, they would follow up. Uh,
But I would think that they would look at this as, like you say, one, to see if it's credible. Two, um, yes, I know we have a vehicle description that she's being seen with now, and a possible description of a person, but I just don't know off of the person's statement. Now, the big thing would be here is the second person that's also seen the kid,
right, right,
right? If if the one that's made this claim would have said, well, oh my God, you have to call and just make the statement because me and you believe the same thing that we seen Lily. And once two people individually verify that they're saying that they seen Lily, then the RCMP are going to say, oh, wait a minute. This ain't just somebody out there online playing.
right. It's not just
We've got
one
two
person.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah. We've got two people saying that they seen the same missing person in the same area on the same day.
yeah,
Um, And it goes back to that gold car with Miss Heyman. I can't remember the first name. But she stated right in her tip that the kids appeared to be older. So that would be one thing why I don't think that they would jump on it. And the second one, she described a couple of points that everybody else picked up, such as Lily having braids in her hair.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, that no one's going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, as far as Malehya goes, and braid her hair. She didn't have, I would imagine they looked and again at the video from the day before and probably confirmed that she didn't have braids in her hair, and probably also didn't look at the fact, the possibility that it could have been a wig, because the fact that she stated that they look like 12 and 10 years old rather than 6 and 4. Like you can perceive a difference in a assumption of age between a maybe a 6 and a 10-year old, but I think everybody, unless they're blind, would be able to tell the difference from a 4 to a 10-year-old.
Well, they said, yeah, and they said pigtails, not braids. Braided wig is much easier than I don't know if I've ever seen a wig with pigtails, but
Well,
because
I said that the
but
next day.
well,
I said, well, they could have put
yeah,
a wig on her or whatever, right?
yeah,
If you've seen, if you're on the, I don't know if you're on our the group that Chelsea has there now. Back a little bit ago, the person done and posted some pictures with alternative appearances,
yeah.
and they had clothing and hairstyles changed to make Lily look like Jack and Jack look like Lily. And I'll tell you,
I saw that on your Facebook. Yeah,
yeah, it it just showed. I'm not saying that's happened, but it just shows what a little bit of change of hair or something in a kid can do for appearances,
yeah.
right?
Now, Carol Bird, Carol, you're stating that you put a tip into RCMP that you had a sighting of Lily. That's what Carol
I
Bird
seen
said
I
back.
seen her trip her thing back there saying that she called in a tip. I didn't
Yeah.
know when was that, Carol,
Yeah, do you wanna give us a little more detail? When, where, and what? And if
because
it's e
that goes in same into the, which I believe is totally distraction, but it had to be somebody. We know the original tip came from Malehya when she called the Mounties on Cody on May 3rd, saying that Cody may have came and picked up the kids, but then somebody else a week later, which has never been stated or confirmed to have been Malehya, but they called in and stated that they seen Cody with the kids at a motel in New Brunswick,
Yeah,
right?
and so
So
was that possibly
we know from the documents that the original tip was called in at 12:45 on May 3rd by Malehya, but who is either listening to the case or distracting from the case with Malehya, calling in a week later and saying that they seen him with the kids at a motel.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the one thing that I know that
Just
there was
just
a
one
vote.
just
Yep.
one second, Kent. Carol, if it's easier for you to come on here and talk if you want, you don't have to show your face. You can do what Kent and I are doing, but I can put the link in there for you. Sometimes it's easier to say it than to try to type it all out if you're still here. But we'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. Go ahead, Kent.
Yeah. We had uh, a sign posted at each entrance of the exhibition, um, and we put about somewhere between 5 and 7,500 people through the gates this week, and every one of them would have had to see the sign. So hopefully
Nice.
we got some eyes that may see something and may remember something.
Nice.
Um, we got to keep their names out there, and we have to commit, at least as a county, the rest of Nova Scotia, and I'm not saying that them or any further beyond don't care, but I'm saying that they can forget,
Yep.
but I don't think the people of Pictou County can forget these children and
Absolutely not.
let them down again.
Absolutely not.
Because we all know that people believe that CPS let them down, but I take it that CPS looked into the black eyes from the school, and yes, in the situation we're in now, hindsight is 2020, and if they
Yep.
were given a story, maybe it was a story, but we don't know yet because we don't know what happened to the children.
Yep. I'm
And
trying to
once
put your
we know
sign
what
up there.
happens, then we could say whether that is a case of hindsight is 2020 or if they let them down. Um, Now, I haven't been talking to anybody else today, but if anybody um, can remember what today's date was, which is September the 8th, and realize that there was supposed to be a case back in court this morning,
Right. Yes.
I would very like to wonder if that court was postponed again. I sent the message to Daniel asking, so if there's any family members out there, it would be very interesting once again to see if that case proceeded. And like I say, right now, it's not a case of custody with Meadow. Right now, it's a case of who's going to deal with the custody of Meadow, whether it's the Canadian CPS or Indigenous CPS system.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
where they're at right now. And then they'll get, once they decide that, right? Because it was at the original hearing, it was Michelle Glasgow, Malehya's lawyer, Malehya, and another designate from Indigenous CPS that was petitioning to have the Indigenous PCS system take over the case.
Right.
And then the next court date, Daniel's side of the family showed up for the court hearing, and Malehya's side wasn't there at all. And when they walked into the courts told them that the case was held over till September the 8th. So either Daniel's side didn't get the message through the courts,
Right.
which I find that probably unlikely, or did Malehya and them not show up for the hearing because they knew that it wasn't going ahead because they were the ones that requested the delay? It's kind of eye-opening that one side showed up because they didn't receive the message that it was delayed, and the other side wasn't even there. So did the other side get the message from the courts, or was it that the other side petitioned for the delayed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Carol says she can't come on. She put the tip in on August 25th. And can you tell us what the sighting was? I want to know if Kent can hear this. Yep. If he can hear it, he can see it.
If I can hear it, if Nova reads it, but I'm also reading the comments myself.
Yeah. I'll put your comments up and read them if you want to let us know. I just want to let everybody know too. This Belinda right here is not Belinda Gray. I just see people in the chat saying hello,
Yeah.
Belinda. That this is not Belinda Gray. Belinda Gray comes in under her actual name. I just see people saying hi to Belinda and spelling it Belinda Gray's actual way. Yeah, I would love to hear Carol as well. I wish she could come on. Your phone should have a mic on it, and you don't have to show your face or anything. It would just be your voice on your mic over your phone. But that's up to you. You can type it in if you want to type it in, however you're comfortable doing it.
And the other thing is in the chat groups, and like you say, I'm just pointing this out, people. I'm not saying that it's true, but in the chat groups, we know that somebody has been posting the missing person posters in certain areas of New Brunswick, and seem to be disappearing as quick as they appear.
Really?
In the Moncton area, there's different people that have said that they have put up posters. Like I say, we don't have the actual physical proof that they did, but they're in the group talking about putting up posters and being back 3 or 4 days later, and the posters are all down. So I can
Yes.
see, like, and she's talking about putting posters, or I shouldn't say she, this person, because I don't know if they're male or female, this person is talking about putting posters on a telephone pole. So I don't know if the town bylaw officers or anything like that would necessarily go behind somebody and take all posters down. They might take some down, right? But
Yeah,
it is a national missing persons case, so why would they take them all down?
exactly. And I had wondered that too about because I told you we were going to put one on a pole. We didn't because my husband speculated that the wind would tear it off, which it probably would. But I wondered, I said the same thing to him. I said, hopefully, because that is town property, it's not, the town owns
Yeah.
that property. But, and I said, hopefully they won't take them down. Now, I don't know if they would, but I think at the end of the day, whether, things are not allowed to be posted on a pole, being that it's missing children, that they wouldn't, but one doesn't know at the end of the day, right? I see
Well,
all kinds of yard sale signs on poles that are not torn down, so
exactly, right? Like, and that's what makes me say that. And then the other thing is I know that there's not supposed to be any signs put onto a power pole
mhm,
because depending on how the person is putting it up, they might get a surprise of their life if something was to ground out, if there was metal within the pole, like, and whatnot. So, like, Nova Scotia Power states that they don't want anything attached to their equipment, but it's done everywhere by everybody. And even here in Pictou, going in towards Sobeys, there's one that has about a half a dozen business signs on it. So last week I called I thought it was the business owner's property, but they said no, it's town property.
mhm,
So I called the town of Pictou and I said, listen, this is what I'm doing. I want to put a sign up here. Uh, and they said, well, you know the guidelines, Kent, because you work elections and whatnot. You know the guidelines that on provincial roadways and you're supposed to go through the department province. And I said, yeah, I know, but I said, can I put the sign up? And what they said is, put the sign up. If we get too many complaints about it, we'll have to look at something else. So that's what I did.
okay,
So by the way, I do need a location to move the 4x4 sign to in Pictou County. That's in a high traffic area. It's been out at exit 19 now for a couple of weeks at a business, but they called, and just because the way it's designed and we keep it mobile, and they get so much wind there coming off the base of the mountain.
mhm,
Um, they said that it's been tipping over quite a bit, and they've been
yeah,
having to go out and fix it.
yeah,
So it's been there for a couple weeks. So they just called and said maybe we could find another location for it now. So I
and
am
that and
looking for a location of a business that would let us move the sign to a couple weeks somewhere in the Glasgow area, preferably,
yeah, okay.
or along the highway.
And it's good to move it around anyways. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So Carol Bird says, this is sounding kind of strange to me. There was a jig somewhere between Port Elgin and Confederation Bridge, a small get together. Authors were selling their books, and Jack was selling lemonade to win a prize that was Jelly Roll. Okay, this is just starting to sound a little weird.
Well, no, I can pick that up. That
Okay.
that was a gig. Is there'll be a musical type event, or in this case, it sounds like Authors by the Sea or whatever, because
And
I
it
know
does
they
say
do a
gig.
Port Elgin.
Sorry, I said jig.
Yeah, and the prize being Jelly Roll. Well, they were at YQM, right? That's a band name, and
Oh,
they just appeared at YQM.
so
So it makes,
Jelly Roll is a band name? A name of a
yes,
band? Oh,
big.
never heard tell of it.
Oh, everybody was crazy over it when Jelly Rolled was coming to YQM. That's the only reason why I know, because it was all over the TV and Facebook, and everybody said Jelly Roll. I don't know who they are. I never heard them. Don't know what they play, but I know everybody else was talking about them.
Oh, wait now. I think I do know who that is. He's a big fella.
Yes, he's a
Yes.
heavier
Oh,
set.
yes, he is a wit. I love his music. I love his music. Yeah. I think of him
Yeah,
as a person, not a band. But
yeah,
yeah, he's wicked. Yeah. At Kent, that person in the fog last night saying RCMP knows where the kids are. Did I hear Sonny mention that? She was on the show before on Sonny's show. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Susan
So,
came on back when uh oh, what's her name? Logan. When Logan was out making her comments in the YouTube world, Sonny had got Susan to go on and talk about when Cheryl popped up and talking to Cheryl and Logan. He won. He never looked in the camera. Malehya had blonde hair. Lily had a ball cap on. Still a few curls, but hair up or cut. I was hoping I was right. Been following this from day one. That's very interesting, Carol. So, from the sounds of that, I would say, was Malehya at the original event when he was selling the lemonade? Or was Malehya, or did you attend YQM?
well, does Malaya have her hair blonde? Did she go back to? I know she dyed it blonde before, but that lobster guy says that he sees her quite a bit in a store. Uh, I haven't
Once
heard anybody
again,
say that her hair's dyed blonde.
but once again, it can be a wig. Like, appearances are so easily changed, whether you dye your hair or put a wig on. Um,
But
I'm
why,
just,
like,
I'm just,
why would anybody go, like, what would be her purpose for doing any of that? Like, it just doesn't make sense at the end of the day. It doesn't make sense. And then when you go back and look at the timeline, there's no time there for her to have taken the kids from the house, out of the house to like, there's nothing fits in the timeline for that to happen. Like, if it fit, looking at the timeline and it fit that that was possible, and there was a point where Malaya was missing at some point that morning, and like, do you know what I mean? Like,
but has anybody, and I asked this 2.5 weeks ago, because it was a week and a half or maybe even 2 weeks after she made comments through Messenger to Sonny. Have we got any verified information of where Malaya is? I don't.
well, exactly, never, because it's always been, well, she's here. No, now she's there. No, she's here. She's there. Yeah.
The other thing that Missy Legier, you said yesterday you heard that lobster might be. Um, are you referring to lobster possibly being Darren? If you are, I'll correct that. No, they're two different people. Guarantee you. Uh, Talked to both, got their phone numbers. Uh, Lobster Man has gotten a sign and uh, put it on he operates a hostel in Wentworth. Um, and Darren right now is still staying mainly with his buddy in Spring Hill most of the time.
Oh, he's in Spring Hill now.
Yeah.
See what Chelsea says? I
I
believe
know.
someone was actually getting close to something truthful, and that's why this is happening. And that's an interesting thought.
What was that?
Chelsea says, I believe someone was actually getting close to something truthful, and that's why this is happening.
Chelsea, I'd like to have a conversation with you afterwards, not necessarily online, but um, I know you guys have possibly other info. Like I say, I've been out of the loop for, well, almost a week, 5 days anyway, and my mind has been in other spots, so I'm too old to travel. It is on CTV August 25th, reported it. So it was date or day before. Okay, I think I remembered that story that they did. I'll have to go back and see if I can find that tape. Darren can get his ass out of the boat. Drippy.
Yeah, and Chelsea says all
I don't know.
all
I don't
pointing
know
away
if
from
you're.
Pictou area.
Yeah, I
Chelsea
don't
says.
know if you mean. Go ahead, Nova.
Chelsea says all pointing away from Pictou area, Pictou County area. Yeah.
Well, like, um,
More diversions. Yeah.
whether. Well, I would believe that. Like, I, I would believe in whatever the situation is, whether they were sent away or very skeptically because of their location of being a random pickup. Um, I would believe that they would want to move them out of Pictou County, or at least this part of Pictou County,
Yeah. And
especially if they're together, because separation is going to make it easier to hide.
that is
Um,
true.
that it would, like I say, it would definitely be getting away from the New Glasgow Pictou. Um, and this is no offense to anybody who lives here, because I do, but we're too nosy not to, not to notice this.
Oh my
And
god, yeah.
if they were still in Pictou County and out there doing anything, I think the people of Pictou County would be calling in
Oh
report.
Lord, yes, especially with a
Do you agree,
$150,000
Nova?
reward. Yes. Yes. So Chelsea says very important. So I checked, the fire ban still is on. It's going to take a lot of rain, guys, for us to come out of that fire ban before October. It's not going to happen. So I think we need like over 200 millimeters or something like that.
But
Um,
the woods are back open in areas.
oh, are they? Well, I
Yeah,
stand corrected.
limited, limited. It's not the
Okay.
whole province yet.
Yeah.
Now, whether they do something tomorrow, I have my doubts it'll be done today.
Well, I
But
just
whether they
checked and
do
it's
something
not
tomorrow
today.
or Wednesday, um, as far as an announcement goes for other parts because of
Yeah.
the rainfall last night. But there is parts like Cape Breton down Port Hawkesbury Way, I believe, is open. Um, some down along the western shore, like down along the Bay of Fundy,
Yeah.
Digby area. I believe some of that is open. but
Okay.
I don't think Pictou County is open yet.
I just checked and it doesn't say it is, so.
Yeah, we're still under a fire ban, but I do know that there's certain areas that the woods are starting to open back up.
Okay. So Chelsea says, I know for any locals, as soon as the fire ban is lifted, I want to start doing volunteer searches. So, guys, very important. So, Chelsea, do you want anyone that is interested and is watching this video or hears this video or whatever the case may be, you want them to reach out to you on Facebook and try to, I mean, you may as well start trying to get a group together now because either soon they'll be open or by October and you guys can start kind of, getting together, speaking anyways, and coming up with some dates or whatever. Do you want people to reach out to you on Facebook? Uh, I'm way behind in the chat. Anybody new that has come in, welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Sorry that I can't specifically go through the names and say hi and whatnot. It's there's a lot of chatting going on. A lot of people are saying that that person's voice sounds like Logan. Um, and
I didn't find that. I
I
know
did.
people in the
I
chats were saying that last night, but
So Chelsea says yes, she would like that. So please, anybody interested in going out to search, I know there was people that did get together and we're starting to go back out and search. They only got I think one or two searches done and then the ban was put on. So disappointing that that would happen. Very rare do we have a ban like this, like just so sad, but it happened. So please reach out to Chelsea. Please, please, please. Um, yeah, the only thing I found, like when I listened to Logan, I had wondered if Logan had lived at a Pictou County and out west for a little bit because a little bit of what she sounds like and some of the words that she said almost sounded like an out west um, bit of a twang to me. So whether she lived out west for a bit and picked up on some of that, I don't know, or she just talks like that. But maybe that's what people are picking up on, and that's the only thing that I would say might sound a little bit, tiny bit, is just a bit of a twang there. But outside of that, the voice I didn't find sounded the same. No. Mama Angie, thanks for being here. Thanks to everybody that came in that I didn't get to say hi to. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to really pay close attention to Chelsea's, what Chelsea's saying, because she is the auntie of uh, Lily and Jack. So forgive me if I'm not paying attention to everybody's messages, but I'm trying to really focus in on her and yeah, so for anyone wanting to help search, not the first week open, but hopefully the second week in is what I'm hoping to plan for. And Chelsea, if health wise I was better, believe me, I would be there. The best I could do is get my hubby to drive me out and come with some water and snacks for you. Um, yeah, which is something I would
people
definitely
are
do.
asking when hunting season is. Hunting season in Nova Scotia. Bow season usually opens the 15th of October, and rifle season normally opens the first weekend in November.
Yeah. Yes, Sheila. Yeah, the one that showed up local that is went to school with her ex. Asked her that, yeah. I agree, Drippy. I'm sticking to most plausible until I hear otherwise, and that very good thinking. Exactly. 100%. I agree. Um, Chelsea, I think we can get search ribbons from authorities and We would need a few physical maps as well. I think, Missy, were you one of the ones that had went out in the last group? I thought you were. Um, ask Janie if you can borrow her ATV. Well, you never know. She won't let Daniel drive it, so Nova, that would be amazing. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Nova will carry you in her hearts. Yes. Yes. And I look, um, I will I will follow what you guys are doing and so that we will come out with some water and snacks for you. So at least I can do something. Uh Yeah, investigators encourage anyone with specific information on the whereabouts of Lily and Jack is asked to call the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit at 902-896-5060. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you. I should put my banner on. And exactly. Don't, and that's the thing. I don't ever want to make someone ever feel discouraged for calling if they feel that they've seen something, and that's why I don't wanna go too far into dissecting this and, point out, "Well, this can't be true because of this, that, and the other thing," and because it should never be discouraged, ever. Nobody should ever feel discouraged, that if they think they saw something, let the RCMP decide that, right? If it comes down to, well, this person is suffering from a mental illness, or they did it for nefarious reasons, or it's a distraction tactic, or it's attention seeking. They'll figure that out, right? But people uh, can't be discouraged from calling those tips in, right? It's the RCMP that'll make the final decision on the tip, right?
Yeah, like I'm not disparaging that person that
No,
called in the tip at
I know you're
all.
not. No, I
I'm
know
just
you're not.
I would despair uh well, in this case the TikTok channel, YouTube, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, yeah, for
um
vetting sources.
for
Yeah.
vetting the sources of the information when things, especially from someone who says that she got a journalistic background, could have very easily verified this information as far as the tip being received. They ain't going to tell her any information because she tried calling them before. She told us all that on her channel. But I think she could have called up and said, listen, I'm just wondering if this tip was received because I've got someone and I want to be able to put it out there if it was received, whether it's valuable or critical to the case. That is for them to decide. But if it is, and if you guys received it, but if someone's out there saying that they did tip it in and didn't, well, then I don't know if I would want to post that as information on my channel.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep.
Not that I have a
And
channel.
no, well, you
I'm
have
just
us.
saying, as a creator.
You have me and Sunny, and was it somebody else's show you were on there one time too?
Dago. True Crime Cafe with Dago. We
I've
got
never
him the
watched him.
documents. And we're going to be going through the documents one day this week on his channel. He's out of the US, so more eyeballs, different people in the chat can never hurt. But
Yes.
it's been nice being up, been nice talking to you, but my supper's ready. So I'm going to go
Oh,
eat supper.
wow. It's supper time already. All right. You go enjoy
Talk to
your
you later.
supper.
See you
Thank
guys.
Hey, Kent,
Yep.
before you go, tell everybody how to get us on.
Yes, they can call me at 902-759-8077 or text or private message on Facebook. We've got about 15 left out of the initial order. Like I say, we're looking for a business or even a home location of prominent travel for the 4x4 sign. And we hope we need another 3 or 4 signs in the city or down that way, if anybody knows anybody that would want one. We have 2 people waiting, but I don't feel comfortable in sending Betty to Bedford and Hammond Plains with 2 signs.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to at least have a half a dozen for her to go. So if there's anybody down in that area that would like to have one for their property, let us know.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
See ya.
Okay. Bye-bye. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are chatting there about getting together. Definitely, Drippy. Need to buddy up with someone with phone too in case anyone gets lost. Yeah, 100%. Um, and the walkie-talkie idea. Yep. Awesome. I don't know if Belinda's in the chat, but if she is here, hi and sorry I missed you. Um, there is no good cell service there. Well, apparently it's spotty. Apparently there is at times. Just take your phones just in case and test that theory out, will you? No, I don't think Belinda's here right now either. Uh, so according to the 2024 for harvester bag limits and open seasons, bear hunting season runs from September 9th to December 7th, same day that archery starts. Well, that's good to know. Well, you guys will definitely have to have your orange on. I mean, that's a definite, right? You're going to have orange on. Yeah, walkie-talkies. Yeah, definitely. I'll bring my dog. She isn't trained, but she has a great nose. But yeah, good idea. Um, I'm gonna have to skip way down, guys. I'm sorry because I'm way behind, which I love. I just love that you guys are chit-chatting it up with each other and you're discussing getting together. Oh, yeah, Seawood. Yeah, Seawood was one of the ones that was out there. She took some pictures. I did a live and she showed us some of the pictures. I was out there though, the woods, through the woods and up the rivers and stuff. And I also, oh yeah, I always had service. So there you go, guys. But I'm pretty sure I do have a set of walkie-talkies here somewhere. Yeah. So there you go. So that answers that question about not having any service. I think we kind of figured out that that was bull crappa. uh Dee said he used Google Maps to get out of the woods. Yeah, so services is spotty, but there is some. Uh, yeah. Put your bells on your legs. Yeah. Put your bells on your legs. No bears will come near you. You only have to worry if you surprise them. Yeah. If you make lots of noise, yeah, bears typically won't come near you. So bells and whistles, guys. Yeah. So Seawood, thank you. That would be great. My service was spotty. Okay. Uh, and that's true too. It depends on your service provider as well. Uh, yeah, carry a big stick to make yourself look larger and act mean. Yeah, if you run into a coyote. Yeah. Nova, it'd be nice of the hunter organization of Nova Scotia to post information about Lilly&Jack. Maybe someone on the chat could make that happen. Interesting. Yeah, anybody that is into hunting and has that connection. If you're here and you see that, uh, also heads up for anyone that ventures out to search that area. October 1st to December 7th is snaring season for bears this year. Watch your step. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully people will be thoughtful enough to know that searches are gonna start again out there, and they'll be nice enough to not, put snares out or avoid the area. Uh, yeah, I hope. Yeah, or a bear horn. Yeah. We'll set up a location to be at our base. That is legal too. Yeah, red flag overload. Yeah. Randy, that's an excellent idea. So while you guys are chatting there about getting together, which is just awesome, that is awesome. And pay attention to those dates that are being posted there that Squid is posting about the hunting dates and stuff like that. Safety, safety. Um, we probably won't get back into the documents today, except one thing I do want to go back over about that I had talked about with Daniel yesterday, um, and and an error also that I made that I want to correct. Kent, the other thing is, it is, excuse me, it is a lot of private property, right? Not crown land. So get permission before you start searches. That's right. I doubt anybody would say no, but uh, no matter what, you always have to have proper permission. And crown land, yes, is open to anybody, right? Um, yeah, yeah. So absolutely, Kent. Yeah, Kent for sure. Yeah. I always think hunters and mushroom pickers find missing persons remains, unfortunately, and that is true. Yep, that is typically true. Yep, yep. 100%, or it's just somebody out walking their dog. Those 3 scenarios you hear of a lot. Yeah, exactly, Chelsea. I would hope so too. Um, yeah. Then right, too many distractions. We should stick to the basics and the statements made early on as the baseline. I agree. Lots of times in the beginning, right? Of what if you go back to the beginning? Yeah. Yeah. So, one correction I wanna make yesterday, I always go back through my videos now because, where I can get things mixed up just because of I call it my new brain, and any of us can say get mixed up too when we're speaking, and I yesterday when I was speaking of Janie, I accidentally stated that she was having coffee and cigarettes when she get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was actually her tea. Now, when I caught that mistake when I listened back, to me, it was like typically what I will do, so all of you know, when I catch an error that I've made, I will correct it in the comments and I'll pin it to the top. So if you look in my comments after I did a video, and if you heard me say a mistake, typically you will see it pinned to the top in the comments that correction, I meant to say Belinda, not Janie or whatever, right? But being that I had said tea instead of coffee, I thought, "Oh, well, people will know that it was tea because she's stated that over and over, her tea." So I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I did get a comment from somebody saying, "Now is Janie starting to say that she's drinking coffee? I thought it was tea." So it is tea. That was my mistake. That wasn't Janie. That was me. I made a boo-boo. So I apologize for that. Sorry. Sorry for the error. Sorry, Janie. Well, thank you again, Nova, and everyone here. I look forward to actually meeting some of you and making this happen. 100%, Chelsea. And like I said, I'll be out with water and snacks for you guys for sure. Lots of love to you, Chelsea. Um, Yeah, lots of love, lots of positive vibes to you and your mama. Um, yeah, so that was one thing. And the other thing that I wanted to show you guys, I have to go over here. I had discussed about how Daniel had stated on Mike Demands, and that is the name of his channel, Mike Dammann, Dammann. Um, and how Daniel, I had showed I'll pull it back up. Um, share screen. Oh, those are the signs there too that Kent was speaking of that you see right there on screen. Oh yeah. So I had spoke of Daniel stating on that show when Mike had asked him, uh, those are other things I'm gonna eventually talk about he had asked him what was the last thing Lily stated to him, and he said, "Hey, Dad." Daniel's response was, "Hey, Dad." Um, and then I compared it to his statement, and in his statement, he had stated that Lily um, hadn't said anything that morning. And then afterwards, I thought, they're going to think I'm crazy because I didn't explain to them. I didn't explain to you very well the fact that I hope you guys can see that. I tried to make it as big as I could. Um, but anyways, you can see Mike Demand says there, Daniel, what was the last thing Lily what is the last thing you remember Lily saying to you? And Daniel says she had stated, "Hey, Dad," and that it was heartbreaking because nobody had ever asked him that. In his statements, he had stated when they had asked, "What did Lily say to you?" And he said, "She said nothing." Like when she was coming in, and he stated she came in and out of the room a few times. Um, well, when Daniel was in the speaking to CTV, and I have a picture of that here. Oh, I'll have to send it. When Daniel spoke to CTV, he had stated that I'm going to pull it up. CTV. And I'm going to share with you what he stated. We'll just go over that. And then when we're done with that, we'll end for the day and I'll be back on tomorrow, I believe. Uh, make sure you guys can see that okay. I think you can. Okay, so I'm just going to read this. And hi to everyone new coming into the room. I do, or chat room. I do see other people there. Okay, so the stepfather of two missing children in rural area of Nova Scotia's Pictou County is speaking out as the exhaustive search for the children enters its fifth day. And my point is, in reading this, is Mike Demand didn't specifically ask, what was the last thing Lily said to you when she was popping in and out of the room? But Daniel says the last thing that Lily said to him was, "Hey, Dad." But in my mind, to me, it was when she was popping in and out of the room because he had stated when this all first started in an interview that there were interactions with Lily and Jack that morning. Now, this is on May 6th, that this is in on CTV, so we can assume that it was probably done. The interview was probably done on May 5th. where Daniel talks about the interactions with Lily and Jack. So that's why, in my mind, I'm assuming that it was the morning the kids went missing that she would have said, "Hey, Dad." And you'll see why when I finish reading it. Okay, so the stepfather of two missing children uh, in a rural area of Nova Scotia's Pictou County is speaking out as the exhaustive search for the children enters its fifth day. Lily Sullivan, 6, and Jack Sullivan, 4, were reported missing around 10 a.m. Friday. They were last seen on Garlock Road in Lansdowne Station. Police believe the siblings wandered away from their home and say there is no information to suggest they were abducted. And they're still saying that, by the way, as of August 22nd. So as I said, regarding this tip from the lady that in the Hidden in the Fog video, uh, they're still saying no reason to believe they were abducted. So, however, the children's stepfather is starting to think otherwise. Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found, said Daniel Martel. Martel has been dating the children's mother for 3 years, and they have an 18-month-old daughter. Martel says Lily and Jack never go into the woods by themselves. He describes them as vulnerable and autistic, which they've never been diagnosed as autistic, FYI. I just feel the need to correct things. They never cross the road. We never cross the road. We have cabins we built up in the woods, and then that's where usually as far as we take them, he says. Martel says he and Malehya Brooks Murray asked Lily and Jack to, okay, so this is the part. Martel says he and Malehya Brooks Murray asked Lily and Jack to quiet down on Friday morning to let the baby sleep. So there was interaction that morning. So if that was the last thing that Lily said to him, one would think that it was that morning. We were in the room laying down, and this is in quotes, me, Malehya, and baby Meadow. Lily poked her head in a couple of times. Well, he goes back and forth a couple of times, a few times. I seen that she was wearing a pink t-shirt, and we usually don't like them to be loud because they were going to wake up the baby. We want the baby to get as much sleep as possible, he says. So they had asked them to quiet down. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys, just so you know where my thoughts were coming from when I was saying that yesterday. Because of course, always in my head after reading that is that the last interactions were that morning as far as verbally communicating with each other. If you have to ask them to quiet down and she's poking your head in and out of the room, well, in my mind, it's obviously May 2nd when she would have said, "Hey, Dad." But in his police interview, he states that Lily said nothing. So, anyways, that's where I was going with that, just so you guys understand. Uh, yeah, Dee said they would go in the pantry and kitchen to get their own snacks. Yep, 4 and 6 years old. Sorry, but I never had to make my own snacks when I was that young, and I was a very independent kid. Well, no, at that age, I wasn't ready to let my kids go into anything like that yet as well, because you're still kind of scared, that even if something in a jar could break, they could get hurt. Is there anything there that they could get into? Even if it's a food or cooking item, kids can still get hurt if they indulge in something that could hurt them. Is there any medication around? Like, definitely. Like, you just don't want to allow kids at that age to be getting into stuff themselves, right? They're just not ready for that yet. No, definitely not. And goodness, I remember my kids, even when they get older, they would still come to me and go, "Mom, is it okay if I have a drink of this?" And we were never strict with them. What we bought and put in that house, that was for them. And they were allowed to indulge in it, as they get older, right? And especially as they're getting into close to teenagehood and into teenagehood and 2 boys, you need to have lots of food there for them. But, and we would keep saying to them, "You don't have to ask. That food is there for you." But it's because of how they grew up when they were younger, knowing that, but when you're younger, it's scared that they're gonna get hurt, right? And then you kinda let them grow out of that eventually, but, uh, yeah. Same drippy. Usually you don't want kids that young, right, to do that because of the mess they make. I can remember, yeah, I never thought of that too, the mess. I remember I tried making pancakes in the microwave once, didn't work. Yeah. They need cadaver dogs. Anyone know a handler that would help, military or private, please help the Belinda and Chelsea and find Lily and Jack, please. And I agree because if there is that chance that they are in the woods, cadaver dogs are needed to find these babies and bring them home for a proper goodbye, right? I agree. Like that is just heartbreaking. And anyone who is a handler, if you can give any amount of time, please, please do so. Please bring these babies home. This has not happened in Nova Scotia before. Dylan, Dylan Ealer, but as we know, is most likely, if that was all accidental, that he walked into the water and is gone, right? And cadaver dog obviously wouldn't be needed with an accident like that, right? Well, wouldn't do much good. But if this is kids wandering off and they're in the woods, uh, this is something that's never happened before in that sense, and cadaver dogs could find them. So please, 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 anybody, as uh, Randy Mary says, please, if you can donate your time, please do so. I know times are difficult, but by 12 years old, I was allowed to spend my summer at a campground unsupervised, or, times are different, yeah. At a campground unsupervised with my parents, only visiting on weekends. Um, I'm ex-gen. We were feral and still did not. Well, I'm 53, so back when I was younger, yeah, it was totally different. Like, you went out early in the day, and you didn't come home till God knows when. I remember, you went and picked berries and ate apples and sauerkraut, not sauerkraut, oh my god, what's that called? Oh my god, it's not gonna come to me, sorry. Uh, yeah, you're pretty much eating off the land. Blueberries, wild strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, cherries, like, oh my gosh, you could get through our town and, man, survive off of all that, and then come home and have your supper. But that's what you like, that's just the way it was, and, when I grew up. But we've learned a lot too, right? That you have to protect your kids more and keep a closer eye on them, because now we've learned that you can't trust people around your kids. Yeah. Canadian Cadaver Canines Association, a nonprofit that has volunteer HRD dog teams and operates across Canada. Awesome. So, Solace, when you guys are chit chatting with Chelsea in Facebook there, make sure to let her know that. Yeah. So for anyone that is leaving and saying goodbye, thanks for being here. And thanks Thanks for joining the chat. Thanks for listening. Thanks. I see that some of you guys are saying goodbye, so I just want to say goodbye. Um, yeah. You can get whatever you want as long as you're not wasting it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's how we grew up in my household. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna say goodbye for the day, guys. And oh, I want to see what Kent's saying here. The unfortunate part is that if they're in the woods, they're going to have to be somewhat buried, or else the vultures and birds or prey would be able to be have seen circling around. Yeah, yeah, most likely. Yeah. Or did they hide under something, right? Who knows? But either way, whether it's accidental or they were put there intentionally, uh, they need to come out of there, whether it's intentional or accidental. I mean accidental on their part, not accidentally not looked after and wandered away, because that's no accident. Uh, oh, thank you, Belinda. Just looking, I don't believe they are in them woods. Yeah, they might not be. I don't know. They likely get birds of prey hanging around there to begin with, where they have chickens on the property. Well, that's true. Uh, but in the woods, that would be different. Yeah. Kent, do you remember anything about sinkhole showing up in Lansdowne Station around 2016? Mm. I know there's been some around Westville, that's for sure. Specifically there, I don't know. Yeah, there's been more than one, I imagine. Yeah. I've heard of quite a few, like, surrounding Westville itself, but specifically Lansdowne, I don't recall, but like Kent said, probably more than one for sure. Um, okay, guys, I am going to call it a day because we're pretty close to the 2 hour mark, and uh, it's not good for me to. I do get up and stretch and stuff like that, but I'm also stuck a little bit close because my earphones, I have plug-in ones now. My other ones did not work anymore, and I had to buy new ones. So I can't move around a whole lot while I'm plugged in. So, uh, anyone interested in um, going out with Chelsea with a group, please reach out to Chelsea Gray on Facebook, okay? And start the chit chat about everyone getting together to go out and search for Lilly&Jack, and see what takes place. And you guys can keep chatting. I'm not going to X this out. I never X it out because I know you guys are finishing up chats and stuff, and I don't want to cut you off. Uh, so if you want to continue to chat, it'll stay running for a little bit. So don't worry about that. Okay. So we'll bring Lily and Jack back up there. Uh, you can see the two of them there. And I'll play a little song as we say goodbye. And remember Lily and Jack.